Hey all, quick disclaimer before this episode of Generations Behind. We unfortunately had a lot of really bad connection issues with Discord. All of our internets were perfectly fine, but Discord kept having connection issues, so I apologize. There's probably going to be a lot of awkward cuts and times where it seems like I'm sitting there not talking to the fellas, but it's because they can't see or hear me, even though it doesn't look like anything is wrong on the video end. So, hopefully this won't happen again in the future, but appreciate you listening anyway, and enjoy us talking shit about Golden Axe for about 2 hours. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, to Generations Behind, episode 21. Okay, give them context, if you guys are gonna laugh.
All right, before the show, I'm sure most of y'all probably heard of this. So the whole like meme thing where it was like, "What's 9 plus 10?" Little kid's like 21, and then they're like, "You stupid." So Craig never heard of it. So
And they just kept saying it because
yeah.
I was like, "What episode are we recording?" And they're like, 9 plus
Craig
10. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
then, then he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like 21. I said, "Yeah, 9 plus 10." Craig's like, "That's not how this works." I was like, "You never seen it?"
Thought I was having a stroke. I'm like, "What kind of math are they doing over here?" Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Episode 21, 9 plus 10. Today, we are talking about the Golden Axe Trilogy on the Sega Genesis. Iconic, beloved with a question mark, Sega franchise. We wanted to do this because Tyler is a very big Golden Axe fan, and he suggested it. So we braved the Sega Genesis front and played through some nice Golden Axe 1, some Golden Axe 2, and some Golden Axe 3. Or at least I think we all played through it. I don't know how Zach. Zach said he saw the credits for all three games, so that could mean anything. We'll find out soon.
It's one of the Sega Genesis franchises of all time.
It definitely is. I would like to point out I went to lunch with my dad today, and he's like, "You doing the show with your friends later?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you talk about?" And I was like, "Golden Axe." He's like, "Oh, that game fucking sucks." So I thought that was funny. I was like, "Yeah, you know what, Dad? You're all right." So we're gonna be talking about Golden Axe today. Very excited. Just because, I always feel like Genesis and older Sega stuff is where I'm kind of lacking in terms of like some of my video game knowledge. So any excuse to go back to some Genesis games makes me happy. To the side of me, we didn't even do introductions correctly. Mr. Zach Daily Beating. Zach, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I have a nice glass half full of water next to me, so we're looking like things are gonna be all right.
There you go. Below us, the luscious slut, Mr. Tyler Haight. Tyler, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Got these fellas recording late on a Saturday night because I went to a wrestling event. Pretty fun, but now we're here, ready to record.
Hell yeah. I didn't do almost anything today because your boy's engine in his car is fried, which is no fun. So I can't.
His engine got fried.
And they don't have a rental car because of course they don't. Why would they? So now I am stranded unless my wife is also home. So I wanted to go to the car shop
time to
today.
game.
I know, that's kind of, I'm like, it's an excuse to be a lazy piece of shit and not do anything and play more games right now, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. But life moves on, but we're here to talk about Golden Axe and many other games, because we've all played a lot of games this week. But first, we have a write-in from Jason. He says, "Hello, Jason here. With the Lunar Remastered Collection being announced and now with a release date, any plans of playing them? Boys, how we feeling about the Lunar Remastered Collection?"
I am interested.
It's definitely one that I've been wanting to get on PS1, but I want them like CIB in the big box, everything. And every time I see them, they're either like destroyed or like missing pendant or missing like some little item. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. Yeah, I'll pass. And eventually they announced the remake. So I mean, might as well. And sure, it may drive the price down a bit for the originals, and I can get those too. So
You never know. Yeah,
win-win.
These are games I've always wanted to experience. I've always heard good things about them. Always been cool and interesting with their big fancy special editions on PS1, especially since it's not a common thing for PS1 games. At one point, I did own both of them. I won them in a Instagram raffle for like $10, so that was really cool that I got both of those games for so cheap at one point. Regular Craig fashion sold them towards the stuff at some point, but they were in my collection at one point, and they were very beautiful. So eventually I'd like to get them back. Not a rush thing, but collecting anything Working's design published is just so cool because they made all their stuff so special and shiny and come with all these extra goodies back when they didn't usually do that for games. It's like even their Saturn games, it's like each game has disc variants and like a bunch of them have sticker sheets and all these other interesting things. So shout out to Working Designs. I don't think they exist anymore in any way, so
I will say, however, one thing about this release that kind of gets me going. Not really gets me going, just kind of gets me like
it gets
a
Tyler
little mad.
rock hard.
Oh, I get rock solid. But anyway, so I know this is like a retro, pretty much typical show, but this kind of scares me for modern collecting because, like, I collect PS4, PS5, stuff like that. But like now, these games are going like Amazon exclusive. Like Lunar, it's gonna be Amazon exclusive. Trails in the Sky first chapter remake, that's gonna be like a Amazon exclusive / limited run collector edition. Like if it keeps going like this, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's very
Like,
strange. I wonder what the purpose of that is, or if Amazon is striking a deal with these people. I don't know. It's very strange because I remember you telling me about the Trails game. And I saw that for Lunar as well. It's very weird. I don't know what the reasoning for this would be.
yeah, like I don't know. It's just weird. There's some games already now like you can barely get. Like one, for example, it's not a great game, but Ben 10 Power Trip, I think it's called, like the second game. They got like a PS5 port.
Hmm.
Good luck finding that anywhere but eBay. Like it never got released in physical stores. Pretty sure it was only on Amazon. It might still be there. Maybe it's sold out. But like that, I feel like down the line is going to be like a PS5 game you should have bought down the road.
All right, so here's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory on that. Maybe, whenever you look at the top selling stuff on Amazon, it's usually Nintendo games, right? And now they're doing the thing where they don't do pre-orders ahead of time for Nintendo games anymore. I wonder if they're trying to compensate on those sales by having games exclusive to Amazon. Like, that's not heavy hitters, but you'd think that would make a difference, right? If someone wants to buy Lunar, that's the only place they can get it. That probably gives them a pretty significant chunk of change, because I think most physical game collectors try to buy in person even when they can, Like, I know, Zach, you pre-order at Best Buy all the time. I think you pre-order at GameStop most of the time, don't you, Tyler?
Yeah, here and there.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
but you know
even
what they
physical
say,
collectors try to do it in person as well, usually.
For every one new Nintendo game that Amazon sells, they sell 10 copies of Ben 10. So,
I mean, and like kind of like you were saying, like how we like to do it in store. Like, yeah, because if it's something, I don't know. Yeah, you can get digital.
Your shipment gets delayed. You're pissed.
Yeah, like if you have it pre-ordered at a store, go there on opening day and you get it. I mean, best thing, like, digital, you play it right away. But we like
except for when I
physical,
pre-ordered Majora's Mask 3D when that came out a few years ago. It's like a decade ago now because we're old. But I remember I was so annoyed that I pre-ordered that game. They're like, yeah, we don't have any copies. I'm like, but I pre-ordered, it's paid for. And she's like, yeah, we didn't get enough. I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Crazy.
I was like, can I get a refund so I could get it somewhere else? She's like, no. So I just had to wait another week for Majora's Mask 3D. And I was very upset because I was so excited about that. Which, fun fact, that's how I found out Nintendo Directs were a thing. I didn't ever see a Nintendo Direct until I think it was JonTron actually tweeting about it when they announced it because he was excited about it. So that was how I found out about the announcement of that, and then I found out that Nintendo Directs were a thing. So
Craig never got his pre-order of Majora's Mask, just like how I'm never going to get my pre-order of Mighty Number 9.
Did you have that pre-ordered?
Mm-mm.
So funny. Yeah, they finally canceled the pre-orders for that on Vita and 3DS on Amazon after all that time.
That's where Limited Run needs to step in and actually do it. It's so funny.
I have one pre-order horror story that haunts me to this day. I was about to move out from my parents' house to live by myself for the first time, right around the time that Fire Emblem Three Houses was coming out. And I was super excited. I was like, I'm going to get the collector's edition for this. I'm going to go to GameStop, pre-order it. Everything's going to be great. I go to my GameStop in my hometown. And I'm like, hey, I'm about to move to this other place. Can you put an order in for the collector's edition for the other store? Because I'm about to move there. They're like, we got you. They took my $5. They typed some stuff in the computer. Everything's good. I show up to the other GameStop couple weeks later, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Who? What are you talking about? No one pre-ordered this game for you." So I was like, "Oh, well, do you have any extra?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Do you have any physical copies?" They're like, "No." So I had to go and play that game digitally, and then I had to buy a physical copy later. And to this day, I still don't have that collector's edition.
That
So
sucks.
it's very sad.
That is very
It's
depressing.
like
Yeah.
I remember one time at Target, I had the Pokemon Sword and Shield 2-pack Steelbook one pre-ordered. It was only at Target. And then overnight, before the game came out, they canceled my order. And I was supposed to pick it up, and I was like, why?
It sucks.
I was like, why? So then I drove there right before they opened, got in. They had a ton. I was like, why'd you pre-order? Why'd you cancel by? So I picked it up, and I went outside, and I put it on the hood of my car, and I took a photo right next to the Target sign with my middle finger up, and yeah, that was my photo.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I remember that picture actually.
Yeah, I probably showed you.
Trying to think. I don't think I've really had any other pre-order horror stories, so to say. That was just the one time, and I was so annoyed because I remember I scrambled so hard to get the new 3DS XL Majora's Mask Edition as well. I was able to get a pre-order through Best Buy, and I was so excited. And mine came in the mail. And I guess this is kind of a pre-order story because my console is defective. There's something wrong with the bottom screen, and it was just like super fuzzy, and touch didn't work on like the bottom half. So I had to send it to Nintendo to get it replaced, and I was so afraid that I was gonna get like a different console back or something. But to this day, still works.
I got one more horror story. So, this local GameStop that I had, no longer here. But, however, I would always pre-order everything there, and this is when I was into, like, collecting Funko Pops. So I had, like, a whole bunch of Pops pre-ordered, I had games pre-ordered, I had random stuff pre-ordered. Screw it. COVID happened, they closed down, lost all my pre-order stuff, because they're like, oh, maybe it'll ship to, like, this store or this store. And then I was like, all right, so I had to go, like, all around. They were just like, yeah, it's not even in the system. And I was like, well, this is great. So then I had to like call GameStop support, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. You gotta go in store." Because they have like a separate support they can call. So then this is at the time when my buddy Patrick, watcher of the podcast, worked there. Went to him. He tried calling them to help me. Literally like an hour, 2 hour phone call. We were just in the store. He was like talking to them. We're even saying that like he's gonna go to the media. He's gonna sue y'all guys. It was like $200 some.
Gotta go to the
It was a
media.
lot. And
Local man sues GameStop.
yeah, we're gonna do it, man. And then they're like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. Nothing we do." We did that like 3 times, and then I went to my other buddy Dale, who was working one day. Went to him. He called up because he was a store manager at the time too. And then after about hour and a half on that call, I finally got my $200 on a gift card.
Nice.
At least you got it
Dude,
back.
it was yeah, I put it
I
towards
would've
my
been pissed,
PS5
too.
pre-order. I did, but like, man, don't pre-order at GameStop that you know is gonna go out of business, even though it seems like they're all gonna go out of business. But
That's true. It could happen to anyone at any day, honest to God.
be careful. I'll tell you that.
I went to GameStop today to try to get Pokemon cards because I went to dinner with my wife after, so I had a car this evening, and they had no Pokemon cards. Everyone's cleared out. Pokemon cards are hard to get right now because everyone's going crazy over the new set. I've seen videos of children getting pushed over and old men getting punched. It's been wild. So
Yeah.
people are going crazy over these evolutions. There's God packs,
Man.
Zach. There's God packs.
Dude,
I don't
whoever
care. I
got
hope everyone who buys like 30 of those things at Costco, I hope they lose all of their money and they fucking have a terrible time.
Well,
I
that's the
hate
thing
those
that's
people
annoying
so
me
much.
is like all of
Hate
these
them so
fucking
much.
people, like, on TikTok are doing the rip and ships or whatever, and people are paying $15-20 a pack. I'm like, if you just didn't pay these people the overpriced scalped money, then they would lose out, and then this wouldn't be a problem anymore. It's like, stop buying it over MSRP. I don't know why anyone would do that.
yeah,
Especially
I
if
was
it's
watching
getting
this one
printed
guy.
more.
Here, this is one that got me rolling. So Zach, I told Craig, I didn't tell you.
Oh,
So Prismatic Evolution Elite Trainer boxes, they're like $50 retail, right?
Mhm.
So when I was trying to like find them in my area, places that had them and stuff, so there was this one card shop, and they were like, "We're gonna have them available today. We open at 2, and to counteract the scalpers, they're gonna like when you buy it, they're gonna cut it open. They're not gonna like cut it. They're just gonna take the plastic off, so you can't like resell it. Like somebody wouldn't buy
Sure.
it." And I'm like, all right, if you actually want to open it, that's fair. But they're charging $140.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
Fuck
They're
that place too.
they're charging more than what they're going for on eBay currently, because now they dropped. They're like 100 and 120, and which is still absurd.
Mhm.
But like,
Yeah. Like, cause
what?
I can respect the, we'll sell it to you at MSRP if you let us cut the plastic, because then they know that someone's not coming to buy from them at normal price just to resell it for triple. I'm like, I could respect that, but you can't have both. You can't be selling it for over MSRP and cutting the plastic off. That's a load of horse shit.
Like, bro, Persona for that, I can't make money anyway.
I know it's rough out there. All I want is the fucking Sylveon, dude, and I'm gonna have to spend so
And
much money.
If you're out there and this is highly unlikely, but if you got one of those god packs where like you got every evolution, sell that shit.
Yeah, you
Sell
should.
that shit right now.
Especially because the prices are not going to stay the way they are right now, and the fucking Umbreon is selling for like $2,000 right now, just the Umbreon.
Yeah.
So it's like, just
Umbreon's
sell it
like
all.
2,000.
You'll make so much more money, and you'll be able to get these cards back in a couple of months for probably half the price. There's no way a card that releases in 2025 is gonna, like, the day it comes out is gonna sustain the price of $2,000. That's insane. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
No way.
Like Umbreon being 2,000 and every other card being like $400 to $600. Like,
yeah. And the
like,
fact
even
that Pokemon Company already said that they're printing more of this set, so it's like they're probably going to print the shit out of it. Because they're not stupid. They're not making money off of the scalpers. Why would they lose out on that? They're like, oh, we could just make more, and we'll make way more money, because people will keep buying it.
dude, even people like going for crazy amounts on the Umbreon Master Ball Reverse Hollow, like, shit, man.
Also,
like,
am I crazy?
$100.
Since when is Umbreon everyone's fucking favorite Pokemon? When did this happen? I feel like this is a recent thing.
It's personally my favorite evolution, but
I feel like it wasn't like one of the Pokemon though until more recent years.
Ever since Moonbreon got to a crazy height, now everybody's like, gotta get the Umbreon.
Yeah, because I like
It's like a
Umbreon, don't get me
Umbreon
wrong,
too.
but I just feel like it is like within like the last 5 years, it's become like one of the Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And I feel bad for like anybody that wants any evolution, they pull like one of the other SIRs. Like, oh, I got the dude from Teal Mask.
Well, some of
I'd be
the
like,
other SIRs are pretty dope, honestly. There's some really cool ones, like the Roaring Moon
the
is sick.
Ceruledge. I like the Ceruledge too.
There's some good cards in that set. If I could get my hands on for MSRP, I'll buy some, but I definitely am not going to pay, double, triple the price on anything that just came out. That's silly, so.
Pokemon Center still didn't restock. I'm waiting.
I'm just gonna go buy all the cards at McDonald's next week, and that's where I'm gonna get my Pokemon cards.
You got to make sure you get the Rayquaza Happy Meal box, because there's multiple
I do.
versions
So
of the
if
boxes.
if you see right here, I do have those. I have these two Pikachu Happy Meal boxes. I do want to get one of the, like, whatever I get is gonna take the place of one of those. So
What are
I
they
like that
doing?
they're
They're doing like
a different Pokemon. I think that's kind of cool.
they're doing Charizard, Rayquaza,
Roaring
Charizard,
Moon
Rayquaza.
and Dragonite.
Okay.
Roaring Moon
dragon
is one of the
theme thing.
coolest things the Pokemon Company has ever made. It is so sick looking.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite of the ancient and future ones.
I love the idea of the ancient Pokemon is just so sick. We'll get into that since I played some Pokemon Scarlet, but I actually don't know. Zach, what's your favorite Pokemon? Because we obviously know Tyler's is Ghastly.
Yeah, I like Caterpie.
But
So I don't know if you can see here, but I have one of my favorite Pokemon is Beware. I have a Beware plush right there.
oh, okay, I do like Beware. He's great.
Wait,
I love-
Zach, I know your other one. Craig, try to guess it.
I don't know if I know it. That's why I'm asking.
Gen 1, right? Right, Gen 1?
Is it Gen 1?
Yeah.
Your favorite
Yep.
Pokemon?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably my. If I had to pick one, it's probably my favorite.
Let's see.
It's not a lot of people's favorite.
What the hell, man?
Hey, you're unique, unlike me.
Let's say, I don't know, Gloom. I'm just throwing a random one out there.
No. It's a
So
final.
every time I put on my my VR headset, I search this page. It's called Mr. Mime Shoulder Massage Simulator. That's
Jesus
Mr.
Christ.
It's Mr. I'm just kidding. No, it's Rhydon. Rhydon's my favorite Pokemon.
Rhydon. All right, I see that.
The
Wasn't he the first Pokemon technically?
I think he was the first one
Like
like
designed
drawn
or something,
like
right?
that. Yeah.
That's
Technically, you could argue that Bulbasaur, Arceus, Rhydon, and Mew are all the first Pokemon.
that is true. Fucking nerds fighting over that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't fight over it. I'd just be like, yeah,
Sure, whatever you want.
whichever one you want at the time,
Oh, And just so everyone knows ahead of time, next episode, favorite PS2 games. Make sure you write in by your favorite PS2 games. I'm terrible at housekeeping. This is why I need to get better at hosting, or let one of you guys take over, because I never remember everything I'm supposed to say and stuff. I didn't introduce you guys today. We talked about fucking Pokemon cards for like 20 minutes. We are a retro video game podcast, I swear.
Our main topic is about a game that you could beat in 7 minutes.
And we're going to somehow stretch that into 3 hours, because that's what we do best.
That's why we need to like stretch some stuff in the beginning. You know, it's like the warm-up. It gets us going.
I think it's my favorite bit. My favorite bit that we do, we talk about it, we introduce the topic, and then an hour and a half later we talk about it.
Well, you know, if the man at the bottom of the screen would do fucking timestamps like he's supposed to, he's people would be able to skip to that if they want.
Right. Shots fired. Yeah, okay. So Pokemon cards?
Yeah, Pokemon cards. No, so fuck it. Let's get into what we've been playing. We've been bullshitting enough not talking about video games. Tyler, you left your what we've been playing blank on the dock, so you're going to have to tell us what you've been playing. I have no idea.
Time out. I'm getting breaking news from Wario64. Apparently, according to Wario64, Marvel Snap is now banned in the United States as part of the TikTok ban.
What the fuck? How does that work?
They released a
what
update.
The hell?
So,
well,
that's crazy.
There you go.
That's a really good game. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna. TikTok's definitely gonna come back, so I guess Marvel Snap will as well. Wait, this won't affect Marvel Rivals, will it?
No.
Did I read that wrong?
This has nothing to do with Marvel Rivals.
Okay. Well, I just
my brain said Marvel Rivals.
It's like TikTok, Marvel Rivals, or not Marvel
Snap.
TikTok, Marvel Snap. There's this like one video editing app that got banned.
Probably
because they're all like with the same parent company. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
CapCut, and there's
that's what most people use for like YouTube Shorts and stuff too. So I bet a lot of people are gonna have to learn how to edit with new software. So that sucks.
Dang.
That's what I was going to use when I was going to start clipping this show. I was going to use CapCut, so now I'm going to have to figure out something else.
Just give it like a week, dude. It'll be up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to last.
Apologies. For some reason, my head, I read Marvel Rivals on that thing. I was like, oh, Marvel Rivals.
I'd be sad.
Sorry.
What would all the Storm Gooners do without Marvel Rivals? I did today download all of my favorite TikToks onto my phone's videos just so I could have them still. Like some of the ones that are really funny. I want to make sure I don't lose them forever. So
I think my favorite TikTok of you is when you're like collecting the PS5 and you just had like this whole stack in front of you. You're like,
oh yeah, that was something I made many years ago. God, that was like probably 4 or 5 years ago now. But yeah, it was like a joke where I was like, I'm not going to collect PS5. And it was like Britney Spears going oops over and over again. And each time the stack got bigger. And I was just like struggling to hold them.
Oops. Yeah.
Oops. Shout out to Britney Spears. Britney Spears made some bangers back in the day. Tyler, what have you been playing?
All right.
Enough of this.
What I've been playing. So obviously, Golden Axe Trilogy, played all 3 games. On top of that, I don't think I talked about this last time. Poppy Playtime. Played the first Poppy Playtime because I was like, you know what? It's short, little horror experience, I guess.
It's like a Roblox game, right?
No, it's like its own game.
Oh, okay. I thought it came from Roblox for some reason.
It might have came from Roblox, but it's like its own thing now. Yeah, I guess there's 3 of them out now. They're working on a 4th one. 4th one's supposed to be like pretty long. The 3rd one's kind of long, but the 1st and 2nd are like first one you can beat in like an hour. 2nd one's like a couple hours. Played that. Been putting a lot of time into East, the Oath, and Felghana because you got to beat it 6 times for a platinum trophy, and I beat it 4 times so far.
There's no way to like save scum it.
Nope, because you got to beat it each time on every difficulty.
Interesting.
In order to get like an illustration card at the end of each thing.
That's obnoxious that the difficulty doesn't stack.
So I had to beat it on normal, and then I beat it on very easy, because on very easy you had to grind all your stuff to max, because you can't get your stuff maxed out until New Game Plus. Then after that, I had to play on Inferno, and then I played on Nightmare, and now I got to play on hard and easy. And then I got to do the boss rushes, and then I'll have a platinum trophy. But I could finish a playthrough in like 45 minutes now, so it's not too bad. I remember I was
Jesus.
doing a party chat with Zach, and I was like, "Up, I'm here, up, I'm here, up." Got to this part already. All right, halfway through the game. All right, yeah. So I went by pretty
That's
quick.
pretty quick.
How funny.
And then also been
Pause.
playing
Pause. I want to hear more about this game because I think it looks kind of good. So, give me a rundown of this East game.
the LFL Ghana.
Yeah, just tell me more
Well,
about it.
It's
Go
very
into
good.
detail.
It's
We don't
great.
need a rush.
No neither. So it's pretty much an action RPG. Another kind of like, oh, your ship. Well, it doesn't really shipwreck. You kind of just dock at this like island. Uh, you have the stories like revolved around. You got Adolf and Dogi. This island is actually where Dogi grew up, so it's kind of like a bunch of familiar characters to him and
And
stuff.
he's the one that's also in every game, right? It's like those are the two.
Yeah, I think he's in like all games, but like but like two or something like that.
Hmm.
But he's a majority of them. He's always like Adolf's partner. So it's like revolves around two people that he grew up with, and it's like a conflict. One's like with the good side, one's with the bad side. Later on, maybe not totally fully bad side, but you figure that more out. But it has a pretty good story. It's pretty touching and stuff.
It's a remake, right?
Yeah, it's a remake. It came out originally on PC Engine or Turbo, whatever it was,
Oh, okay.
and then came out on the Super Nintendo, and then got a remake on the PSP. Now I got a remake again, but
So
now it has like full voice acting and
is this Yeast 3?
yeah, this
Okay, I
one's
was
the
gonna
third
say
one.
because I know that I know of that one. Okay, cool. Because I was gonna ask if this was
Yeah,
a numbered entry or what it was. That's okay, cool.
yeah, East 3, but it takes place like fifth in the timeline. So
Yeah, the it's so weird because the people I've talked to and like listened to reviews and different things, everyone, with the Trails series, like Trails in the Skies, Cool Steel, all that, like you have to play it this game, this order to experience everything, and then with East, it's like each game takes place in a random time period, and they're like, yeah, just start wherever, you'll be fine. It's just so
yeah,
strange to
honestly,
me.
like they don't really link up. Like from what I played, from the ones I played, they don't
Mhm.
really link up as much. They're just kind of like their own individual stories.
Which is just
But from
crazy because
where,
it's the same character, so it's like you'd think there'd be like, oh, remember when we did this and fucking
yeah,
Castle of Butthole or whatever kind of weird fantasy thing they come up with.
like like I could be totally wrong, but it goes like East Origin 1, and then I think it goes 10, and then it goes 2, and then it's like 5, 3,
That's so funny.
something, something, something. The last one's 9.
How funny,
But
yeah.
so that is
Origin's the
where they
only
were
one
like,
that I've played a little bit of, and I did enjoy it, so I want to go back eventually. Good Vita game.
yeah, yeah, they're good little action RPGs, especially like from the older ones because they're pretty
Hmm.
simple. They're
How
not
much
that
does this
long.
new one cost?
Uh, it's like I think it was 50 with
Okay,
the big box with the art book, soundtrack, all that.
that's dope. I might pick that up.
Hmm.
That seems fun.
Man,
It's a
yeah,
series
it's
I'm
not bad.
always interested in, so
And it's one, like I said, you could jump in at any time. So,
yeah. Although I do
or even
have
in, like,
8 on Vita, and something about that. I've always heard 8 is really, really good, so.
yeah, a lot of people eight's their favorite. I kind of like jumped in at 9, so I'm kind of like favored to 9.
Hmm.
But 9, it just sucks because you're stuck in like the city area for like a long time until you get to actually explore like the overworld and stuff. But
Hmm. And then, the new one, 10, looks good. It's just like, it just seems like I don't know, something about the series is really calling to me. Like, a lot of the character
I feel
designs
like
are
you
really
like it.
cool. I like that it's, like, a big story that, like, has, like, no, you, like, you don't need to prepare in any way. You could just jump in wherever you want, jump out wherever you want, and it still makes sense. Very appealing in that way. Like, because a lot of these big series, like, I think about, like, Yakuza or the Trail series, it's, like, it's so intimidating to get into them because it's, like, where do I even start? And, like, Ease is kind of like Final Fantasy, where it's, like, wherever you feel like, bud. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I so I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt.
you're good. You're good.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, played that. And then I also played. So little life thing, I guess. I got a new car.
Woo.
So I was like, I want to play a driving game or a racing game.
That's funny.
So so I was gonna play Gran Turismo 7, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play the Crew Motorfest. So
Oh.
I ended up playing a lot of the Crew Motorfest with Jonathan. I always like the crew games because it's not just cars. You can do like cars, bikes, off-roading, planes, boats, a whole bunch of different stuff. Upgrade all your cars and stuff. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been
That's fun.
playing.
That's fun. Zach, what the hell have you been playing?
Let's see. Since last episode, I finished Metaphor. I really liked it. I think it. Spoiler for my top 10 list I'm making. I think it landed at number 3 for me.
What? Not even
Um,
number
Number
2?
3.
Well, now I'm not even gonna watch the video.
I sat there. I thought about 2 and 3 for a while.
Oh,
but
I know what your
couldn't
number
go
2
against-
is. I don't want to spoil it, but I would put
Yeah.
money on what it is.
I bet I know what
Yeah,
his 1, 2, and 3 are now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I definitely know your top 3. Now
Yeah.
I thought about it and I know exactly what you're gonna say. So we won't spoil your video
Yeah.
because we
So
know
sweet.
we know you well enough.
I
Yeah,
don't want to
so-
say it. I'm not
But I love Metaphor. I thought the story was great. Combat was really good. I really enjoyed it. I want to play it again on New Game Plus, like right now, but I'm making myself play other games I'm trying to beat before I play it again. I did
It's
all the
so good.
social links, did all the quests, all the side quests. I did everything I could. So I got the complete experience, I would say. So really happy with that game.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I want to play through it too. We both need to beat the super boss on New Game Plus.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got a pretty easy route to the platinum, I would say. I've only got a couple things left to do, and I just got to make sure I do a couple random things on random days. But yeah, Metaphor's great. Been playing more Echoes of Wisdom. I did a couple dungeons in that. I'm actually really liking Echoes of Wisdom. Like it's ramping up for me. At first, it was slow. It's kind of a slow start when you don't have a lot of echoes. Because the whole thing is like you're Zelda and you're like spawning stuff in. So at first, when you don't have a lot of options, it was a little slow for me. But now I'm just a fucking wizard, just doing whatever the hell I want. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'll probably beat that this weekend. I think I have a good shot.
Nice. I want to play more.
My
of
man,
it
got
too.
my man got the little wizard wand out, and he's like, "My name is Zach, and you're watching Disney Channel."
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
I streamed the best Wii U game this week. I played some Star Fox Guard.
Hell yeah.
This game actually, I kind of had a fun time with it. Honestly, I was liking it. So imagine your TV in front of you is a series of security cameras, and then your touchpad at the bottom is like a top-down view of your like base. And basically, you're touching on the bottom screen like what camera you want to look at, and that camera will come up to your center screen focus, and then it's basically like a first-person shooter at that point. You like aim your little like camera and like shoot lasers at the robots trying to get to the base. It's a little repetitive because every level is just basically a maze that you're protecting from these robots. But the robots have like certain abilities and make them, I guess, unique to other robots. It's pretty fun. It was a pack-in game with Star Fox Zero, I think. I think there was a demo of it, and then there's a pack-in for Star Fox Zero, and I bought just Star Fox Guard by itself, which is awesome.
Disgusting.
For $5.
You probably
So
could
I'm
have
having a
gotten
good
it with
time
Star Fox Zero for $6.
They literally had Star Fox Zero there with Star Fox Guard in it for like $9, and I was like, no, I want Star Fox Guard for $5.
Do you
But,
own
yeah.
Zero?
I do not. So I just bought Guard
You're a criminal.
on its own. So maybe one day I'll buy Zero. But yeah, Guard's a good time. I'll probably finish it next week. I played a couple hours of maybe 1 hour of a game on the Steam Deck at an indie game called Tricky Madness. And this is just a blatant ripoff of SSX Tricky that they're making.
Oh, sick.
It controls the same. It has the same look. It even has like the snowflake multiplier things, like they're
Oh,
yellow, orange, and red. Right now, there's only 2 characters and 2 maps, and the story mode's not in there yet. They're like it's an early access.
Oh, okay.
I got it for like $7, but just like the couple maps I was playing around, I was having a good time with. Um, it even does the thing where an SSX tricky, if you do tricks, you fill up the tricky meter. I think what do you fill up in this game? It's like another word very similar to tricky. It's just like, but it's the same exact concept. It's just SSX tricky.
How funny.
It's fun. I'm having fun with it. And then the last game I've been playing is it's I'll explain it on the pickups, but I'm playing an indie JRPG called Dragonim.
Yes, I'm so excited to
It
hear
is
about
a
this. It looks so sick.
yeah, so it's a it looks and plays like an old it looks like an old Dragon Quest game, like an 8-bit JRPG. But I think it came out in 2023 originally. I got a physical copy I'll show off here in a minute. But it's basically just a turn-based RPG. You're exploring the world. It's a little grindy. It's a little difficult. The enemies are in the overworld. There's no random encounters. So when you go into combat with an enemy, most of the time early on, like you can only fight like one or two enemies at a time, and you got to go back and heal. I've been grinding a lot, which I like grinding in JRPGs, and this game is basically making me grind. Um, but yeah, it's based off of JRPGs of like the 80s and 90s, but made in 2023. So there's some modern conveniences. You can fast travel. You can the dialogue is like a little more thoughtful. Um, I don't know. The pixel art's really good. It's a game that runs on the Game Boy, but it looks much better than a Game Boy game, which is I think is neat.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's pretty neat. I'll have to show y'all some gameplay of it sometime.
Yeah, I saw
But
screenshots when you bought it just because I thought it looked like the coolest game based off of the box art, and I was like, oh my god, this looks like so down my alley. Like it totally looks like a Craig game.
so I read the game it says it has 10 dungeons, I believe. I don't know it says 9 main dungeons with a multitude of mini dungeons. So like I don't know if the main dungeons. I'm having a hard time differentiating what a main dungeon is and a mini dungeon, but I know for sure I'm about to finish like a big dungeon with like a big boss. So maybe that's the first main dungeon. I'm only like 10% of the way through. I don't know. Um, but it's a good time, and I'm excited to play more of it.
Nice. It's very exciting. I want to check that one out too. I wonder if you could play that one like if they have it on Steam or anything. I feel like
It came out digitally first somewhere.
okay, good.
So
Because
yeah.
I want to check it out. And maybe if maybe I'll just get the physical. I think that'd be cool to own, honestly. Anyway, buying a new Game Boy game in 2025 sounds like a fun thing to do. All right, for me, I finished Pokemon Scarlet. I did all of the main story
Yay.
quests, so I got all the gym badges. Did all the like event things with Arvin. I took down Team Star, all that good stuff. Went to the what's it called? That big thing in the middle, the black hole. That, like,
Area
explodes?
0.
Yes, Area Zero. But I definitely want to go back and play the DLC. The luscious slut graciously Apple paid me the amount of money to pay for the DLC because he's like, I want someone to play with, and I was like, all right, bet. So I have that downloaded now. I'm excited to play through it and do the DLC. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole Pokedex. It seems like it's a little tedious. But there is something very appealing about the idea of having like a living dex in Pokemon Home, because I've seen a lot of people do that, and I'm like, that's a lot of work, but it would be really cool.
I'm like
Zach's
60
going for it.
Pokemon away.
Really, you're that close?
It's basically like so. I've been replaying the games and filling up the decks as I replay them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Bring
unfortunately,
back those streams.
yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that. But like a dozen of the Pokemon I have left are just like random, like legendaries that are weird, like Hoopa, that
Mm-hmm.
like weird, like the genie one. Like I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to give that nowadays. And
Do
then
you
like
just need to register it, or
I just need to get it into Pokemon Home.
because like
Um,
I could give you mine and just give it back.
Sure, but I need that for like Marshadow. I need Hoopa.
I got
need,
it. I got it.
Yeah, I just need a bunch of those random event Pokemon.
And you
I
can
need some of the Ultra Beasts.
you can transfer from Pokemon Go into it too, right?
Yes, you can transfer
Okay, cool.
Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home. But the main goal, the main like chase to do that is if you finish Pokemon Home, you get a Magearna
Yeah,
that is
I've
a
seen that.
Pokeball Magearna.
It's so cool.
And it's so cool. So I want to get that really bad.
Yeah, I'd
You
love
gotta
to
be
do
like, you gotta be like John Stone and do like a complete shiny living dex.
I'm not a
That dude's
maniac, so no, I will
insane.
not do that.
You
I
gotta
will
have
not
some
do that.
self-respect.
He makes some
Yeah,
great content by doing that stuff, but I'm just like, I would never have the patience.
Oh no, totally. But yeah, good lord, that is way too much.
Like when he does the shiny Professor Oak challenge or
Yes, he
whatever. No.
he makes excellent content for sure, but he's also a crazy person, and I don't know how he can how he can enjoy playing video games with the way that he plays them.
The, the one shiny, a
yeah,
little off topic, but the one shiny hunt I always wanted to do is like the shiny Jirachi in like Coliseum.
Oh, that would be cool.
But I'm like, man, I'll be sitting there resetting. It takes like 5 minutes a thing. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be forever.
I always respect videos like that because it's like really cool and fun to watch. But it's like I don't want to ruin games I love by playing them like that.
Yeah, that's what deters
I
me from
get
trying
it.
speedrunning more too. I'm like, I know eventually I'll get tired of this, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have you guys ever tried shiny hunting in a Pokemon game?
yeah. I thought it was really fun in Let's Go. Let's Go is like a because you could I forget exactly how it worked, but it's
After
like you
you
could like
catch a
chain
certain
them
amount,
together.
it like cuts your chances of finding it by an extreme amount.
Yeah, and I've done it a couple other games. Like I remember when I was really getting into Pokemon like Gen 4, like I had access to the internet and I learned about like the best ways to like increase my shiny odds. I did stuff like that in Gen 4. I tried soft resetting for Gen 3 starters as a kid with like 3 Game Boys. I never got one. So I used to be into shiny hunting when I had more time. Now
Hmm.
I don't. I just play the games and have fun with them now.
Yeah, only game I ever did it regularly on for a while was Pokemon Sun and Moon, because you
Hmm.
get the shiny charm after you do the regional decks, and then you do the thing where it's like they call extra Pokemon to come help them, and then you have
Oh yeah, the
Decidueye.
five
Yeah,
Pokemon.
the
Yeah,
SOS method.
yeah, and then you do the
Yeah,
Decidueye thing where you cut the other Pokemon down to 1 HP, and then you just keep killing the one that it brings in until you get a shiny. And it's like
yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was fun until I spent like 6 hours shiny hunting for a Marowak because the Alolan Marowak looks sick when it's shiny. And then I was like, cool, I'm never doing this again because that was 6 hours of my life and it didn't feel worth it. I was like, it finally showed up and it wasn't excitement, it was relief. Because it was like, after a couple of hours, I was like, if I quit now, I wasted all that time. So I have to keep going until I get it.
I wonder with Pokemon, they keep adding quality of life items every generation, where like you can change the natures of your Pokemon, you can fix their IVs, you can fix their EVs with the berries real easy. I bet you in one of these generations, you're gonna get a really expensive item where you can just make a Pokemon a shiny. They're just gonna cave and like let you just do that.
Oh
I
no,
wonder.
I can't see
I
that.
feel like that's a
Dude, if
step too far,
they've done
but
everything else. IVs, they've done natures. You can
definitely
already make your
possible.
perfect Pokemon just by buying items and finding items.
That's true.
Eventually, it's gonna be like a really rare, hard to get item. You can just make something shiny.
That'd be very interesting. But I'm hoping, since we got the announcement of Switch 2, I'm hoping that Scarlet and Violet will run better on there, because that's honestly my only complaint about the game.
I hope it
Um,
doesn't. I hope it doesn't because it'd be hilarious if it just didn't.
but I
This
really,
man is just
I
no.
think
I'll do it.
it is definitely one of the most fun times I've had with a Pokemon game. I really, really enjoyed it. It just runs like shit and is very, very ugly.
And that's the thing. Once you get past all its flaws, it's a great game.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
like it runs like shit and it's ugly. But in terms of like actually just being a video game and being fun, it is very, very fun. I've
Ambitious
talked about
too. Like
Hmm?
it was like a big. It was ambitious too. They had like
Yeah,
a. They went for it. It just
yeah.
didn't pan
Like I
out
like
all the
that it
way.
wasn't just the gym. It was like all the other stuff. And then Area Zero is really cool. And I like I said, I'm not big on open world games, but Pokemon open world just feels so right, and it feels very good, and
yeah.
it leads to a really fun loop. And it's like you lose time so quickly because you're like, all right, I'm gonna go to my next destination. Oh, there's a Pokemon I haven't caught before. Oh, there's another one I haven't caught before. It's like every step you go, you find a new Pokemon, and it's super super fun. I had such a good
Well, I'm
time with
really
it.
hoping that it seems like they're taking an extra year with the Legends game.
Hmm.
I hope that's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I'm looking
But
forward to that too. But yeah, and I didn't put it on my list, but I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Yellow here and there, because
who's playing it?
I want to be prepared because we're going to be doing a Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow episode in a couple of episodes from now. So I want to make sure I'm actually have Gen 1 original under my belt because I played through Fire Red, but I never finished any of actual Gen 1. So not too much to say yet. I've only gotten one gym badge, so I have ways to go. But I know that it's a very short game, especially since I have a Nidoking on my team. It won't take very long to get through it.
When in doubt,
Gen 1
thrash it out.
Nidoking.
I almost don't want to use it because I feel like it's making it way too easy. And I'm like, oh, I'm like one-shotting everything. He's so broken.
You could have done something like the Mew glitch and got a level 100 Nidoking before even Brock.
That's true. But yeah, because I was going to say, Gen 1 doesn't have the thing where they won't listen to you if they're too high of a level, right? Or does it? Okay.
I don't believe it does. Because my Nidoking just listen to me when I'm playing through Blue. And
so you,
I think
you cheated your way through Blue with a level 100?
Oh, no, I didn't do that. Like, I got an actual Nidoking. But, like, he's just so over-leveled because I'm just using Thrash all the time. I mean, I eventually had to go back because me and Zach are trying to complete the Pokédex in it, but... Which, Zach, we need to get back on that soon.
I do. I officially put Pokemon Red back on the shelf because I was playing Dragon M. But I need to get back into Red and finish it.
I will say, though, I am being a degenerate. I'm playing it on Delta on my iPhone, so that way I could play it with fast forward the whole time, just to make it go by much faster.
Those games are slow.
They're very slow, and it's like I don't want to spend as much time required otherwise, unfortunately, to play through that game. So it's not that I don't like it. It's just it's so simple, and speeding it up, it's like all I'm doing is matching through the text boxes faster. So I don't really feel guilty about it. It just makes it quality of life improvement in my opinion. So
ROM hack of Yellow that came out recently called Yellow Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's doing a line of Yellow Legacy, Crystal Legacy, and Emerald Legacy. And basically, you can run in Gen 1. The bag has way more storage. HMs are easier to use. Stuff like that. Like making the game like basically the same game, but making it just feel better to play.
That's cool. And I think that's a valid way to play these games because it's like these games are obviously flawed and they were limited by the time. And I think that I don't even think that it's like they wanted these games to be slow and clunky and you couldn't hold a bunch of items. It's that I think they just literally couldn't make it any other way at the time. So
yeah.
I wouldn't feel guilty if you wanted to play, ROM hacks of these games that just make things more convenient. So you're still getting the same core experience just without the annoyances.
Yeah.
Yep.
So shout out to ROM hacks that make games a little bit more tolerable. What else? I've been playing. I only started it today, but I finished the first world of Yoshi's Island. I couldn't decide what I wanted to play earlier, so I was kind of just hopping between a bunch of different stuff. And I've always heard good things about Yoshi's Island, but I never gave it a shot just because, I've heard the crying baby over the years and it made me not want to play it. Exactly. Yes, sir? Mr. Daly?
Yes. I played Yoshi's Island, played it several times. I think that is my personal most overrated game of all time. I think it's a good game. I think people are so high on it. Like it's like people are, it's one of the best SNES games ever. I don't think it's anywhere close to that.
Nintendo hot takes. No.
I was just going to say that I actually think this is one of the most incredible Super Nintendo games I've ever played.
I think it's a good game. I don't want to take away from anybody else. I have never got it. I've never understood why people like it so much.
Change of plans. Next episode is going to be the Yoshi Island episode.
Where we debate Yoshi's Island.
I enjoy playing it. Every time I play it, I like it. I just don't think it's like a top 5 SNES game.
I don't know where I land because I've only beaten the first world, but I think it's so good.
Yeah.
I don't like the some of the controls. I think Yoshi controls a little bit weird in general, like the floatiness to the jumps I'm not a huge fan of, but I know that's kind of just how Yoshi games play. But graphically it's incredible. The pixel art is so nice and pretty, and the music is amazing. I didn't really know the soundtrack. Like I'm sorry, Koji Kondo, I wasn't familiar with your game in this way. I had not heard
Koji Kondo.
No, only specifically for Yoshi's Island because I have I have not heard anything off of the Yoshi Island soundtrack. Like maybe here and there, like in the background of random YouTubers' videos and stuff. But like I've never like actively seeked out listening to it, and I'm just like, man, these are bangers. It's so good. Music is so good. And obviously, being early on, I've only done 2 boss fights, but I thought they were both pretty fun and creative. Just having a really good time with them. I'm excited to play more of it. It's one of those things where I think I'm just going to do like a world a night, kind of like a bedtime kind of game. I think it's a good wind down game because it's not too difficult. And I know the game is only maybe I looked it up. It seems like it's about maybe 6 hours long, give or take. So it's like an hour a night, a world a night. Seems like a good way to go about it. But I'm excited to keep playing it.
Nice.
And then yesterday I played through a couple of different routes of the Stanley Parable. I don't get it. We want to talk about games that are overrated. I don't really understand why people love this game so much. If you're a Stanley Parable stan, I'm sorry. I don't
Stan.
Yeah. I don't think that it's very the humor's okay, it's kind of funny, but it's like people act like this game is hilarious, like peak comedy, one of the greatest games ever made. And I think it's just okay. So it's like I said, I got a few endings, and then I honestly was kind of already over it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep playing. But I did beat the game technically because I got a couple of endings. I saw credits. I got a trophy for beating the game. And apparently the first ending I got was like the canon ending, which is kind of funny because I didn't even really know that that's what I was doing. So it's like I've seen enough of the game to decide that it's not for me.
I was just gonna say I don't know where I evaporated, but you were talking before the stream yesterday about Stanley Parable. Maybe it was more of a novel idea when the game originally came out. Like maybe
Yeah,
this
that's what I was
concept
thinking.
was maybe
Like,
it would have hit different back then. But
yeah, I imagine if I played this in like 2012, 2013, I probably would have had a different opinion on it. But as someone who hadn't played it before, and this was the first time, I was like, just underwhelmed, I guess, with how hyped up this game has been for me over the many years.
I've only ever watched this game on my iPod Touch on a long play. I never actually played it. But I did watch a long play on my iPod
The
Touch.
old daily
and,
special.
yeah, so I used to just watch games when I couldn't just buy games I wanted. I would just watch all of them on YouTube the whole
No,
way
that
through.
totally makes sense.
So best way to experience The Last of Us 1. So.
And it is, because The Last of Us 1 isn't fun to play.
The story's great. I don't know. I like the game.
I don't know. I haven't played it since 2014, probably 2015. So I think it's due for a replay anyway, because I want to play it again before I play Last of Us Part 2, since I still haven't played that.
Oh, I hate what they did with the story with that one, but
Yeah, I've heard mixed things for sure.
I'm sure you know the big spoiler part. But
I do know the big spoiler part.
yeah,
I know that
I cannot wait
Ellie
for
goes
my
to the
mom.
moon. So
damn freaking Tiger Woods.
My mom has gotten really liked the first season of the show, and I cannot wait for her to watch season 2. It's gonna be so fun.
I
I'm
wanna
having the
see-
same experience. My mom adores The Last of Us. She thought it was such a good show, and it's like
Yeah.
I can't tell her. I'm like, you're just gonna have to find out.
It's the same with my uncle. My uncle's one. He was like, "Man, this is good." I'm like,
It's really
so
funny
funny.
because there's millions of people that love that TV show, and they just have no idea what's coming. It's awesome.
since they're splitting season 2 into the second game into like 2 seasons, I guess, or whatever. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
where they're gonna cut it.
I have a feeling they're
Like-
gonna extend the earlier part of the game to be
Yeah.
much longer.
Like, if they extend the earlier part and then cut it, where we think they're gonna cut it,
Mhm.
and then season 2 is just the whole 80% of the game.
Well,
back into it.
Tyler, you've played the second one, right?
Mhm.
You know how that game is structured. Like, I wonder if they just do 2 parts for
Like
how
one
that
whole
game is set
side,
up.
and
Yeah, I don't know.
that'd be weird. Like, I don't know. I kind of
Well, the game was weird, so I mean, I'll tell you,
Eh.
Fair.
it was a weird way to do that. So
when they're gonna have a special features with Tommy.
And other than that, played Golden Axe 1, 2, and 3, beat all 3 of those. For better or for worse, we'll get into that soon. And that's all we've been playing, everybody. Next, I don't know if you guys have any pickups. I know Tyler does. Zach, do you have any pickups you'd like to share? You can go first.
I do. You want me to go first, real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So my first 2 pickups, I did. I'm part of the problem. I'd like to apologize to everybody up front. This is the reason Nintendo gets away with it. I bought Donkey Kong Country Returns
And
HD.
garbage.
Hell yeah.
I had a Target gift card from Christmas, so I was like, I'll buy Donkey Kong.
Use
I'm
it
gonna
wisely.
play it.
Hold on, real quick. If you guys are watching on YouTube, leave a comment on your thoughts of what DK looks like in the new Mario Kart.
I love it.
Because-
I'm so down. I'm so down for a new DK.
I don't know. It's probably gonna grow on me, but when I first seen it, I was like, "What the?"
I'm all in on new DK. New old DK look. But
It almost
yeah,
makes me wonder if they're gonna do like a Smash Bros thing where it's like they pull different designs from different media for each character. That could be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
some people were
Hopefully,
just speculating this is just setting the table for the new DK game. He's a new look in the new game, so they're making him look different in Mario Kart.
That'd be cool.
I'd be happy with that. Like, no, it's gonna be a new DK in the Tropical Freeze remake. That's what it's gonna be.
You're right. It's
Instead of new funky mode, it's new DK mode.
new DK
Alright.
mode. Yeah.
I hope,
Um,
man.
I did get one more Switch game. This one I don't even know why I got it. I'm kind of mad at myself that I got it. I just it wasn't on sale. I just bought it at full price randomly. I was like, yeah, let's just get Lego Horizon Adventures
Oh my
for Nintendo Switch. Mainly because it does have the Sony published thing on there, which I think is neat. It's
That's
like
funny.
a novel thing to have. But like I could have just waited for it to go on sale. I didn't need to buy it for $60 American dollars.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be like a $15 Black Friday game because
I
nobody
don't
bought
know
it.
why I bought it for full. Yeah. Oh yeah, nobody bought it because I have a pre-order slip in the inside of it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but
I love
yeah,
when
I
you
don't know
buy
why I
a
bought
game
it
like
at
3
full
years
price,
later
but
and it's still the
there
day
it is.
one edition. That's my favorite thing
Um,
that happens. We are back. We're having issues this time, but we love Discord. We would never
Not
talk
with
bad
me.
about Discord. So yeah, Tyler is
Never.
okay. I made 2 notes on my phone, once for when Zach dies and once for when I die, so I could edit those out.
I'm
But
probably
we're back.
like a
Cross my
horror movie.
fingers we're good for the rest of the episode. What the fuck were we talking about? Does anybody remember?
I was doing pickups. I was doing
Yes,
pickups.
you're doing pickups. What the fuck do you have?
After the 2 Switch games, I did get on sale an art book I've wanted to get for a long time. Not video game, but video game related. I got the Fire Emblem Awakening
Ooh,
art
I
book.
forgot to pick that up.
I bought that
It's
for
very-
at full price many years ago. It's so cool.
Very nice. The pages are very thick. It's got some good sketches in here.
If it's still on sale,
Um,
it's probably not.
This game's really good. It's one of my favorite Fire Emblem games. Got some questionable art like of Sumia in here, like what's going on there.
Jesus.
But we're just gonna ignore that one.
How much was
but
it when you bought it?
$25, I think. I think it was like half off.
Yeah, it's $22.50 right now.
But yeah, it's
Even
like
cheaper.
hundreds of pages. I love art books, so I'm gonna look through the rest of
I
this.
love that every support conversation is typed out in the back. I thought that was super cool.
Yep. I don't understand why, but for some reason, every time the F, the B, and the W show up in Fire Emblem Awakening, they're red. I don't know what these 3 particular letters are supposed to.
Football.
I don't get it. But anyway,
I would also
That's
like
cool.
to shout out Lucina because she's one of my favorite characters ever. So
yeah, that's a really cool piece of artwork of her
It's
on the
so
front.
cool.
So
I want to get her
Um,
sword tattooed on me so bad. That's definitely gonna happen one day.
the Falchion,
Yes. Is that how you say it? I
And then I
never know
have-
how to say it.
that's how I say it. Falchion.
Yeah.
Um,
Lucina's
yeah, that's like the-
a top 5 video game character of all time for me.
I just bought it.
But
Excellent.
the coolest pickup I got, I would say, that came in since last episode. I talked about Dragon M earlier. That game was released physically alongside a new fancy Game Boy called the Chromatic. Think of an analog pocket. But what interested me in that, I didn't buy the Chromatic, but it did release alongside some new games, or like new physically released games. So I bought the launch bundle, which is 6 games. They're all in their own boxes. They all are like the shape of like Game Boy, I guess, boxes. They come with manuals, they come with charms, and they come with specially colored cartridges. They all have different color.
That's
I
fun.
don't have them unpacked right now. But I have some pictures in the Discord if anyone's in the Discord. But
That's
I guess I'll read them out loud. Traumatarium Pentinent. This is a dungeon crawler, like a first-person dungeon crawler, and I think you just lots of dialogue, trees, and stuff like that. All right, so yeah, Traumatarium Penitent is a dungeon crawler. I grabbed a box of my Japanese Pokemon Gold just to show you. It's like the boxes are like identical to
The
these,
Japanese
so
How funny. That's cool.
pretty neat. But other one, next one is Tokitori Ultimate Edition. Tokitori is like a little like puzzle platformer kind of deal. I know these game. I've heard of this game before, but I've never really played it. But yeah, Tokitori. Next up is Tales of Monsterland DX. It is a 2D platformer.
I love that cover art.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks sick.
it's neat.
That's cool.
This one has a clear cartridge.
Oh, fun.
Next up is Patchy Matchy Puzzle Surfing. This is just a match 3 game with a blue cartridge. Worth noting that all of these games work on original hardware. Like, this is a Game Boy game. It works on a Game Boy. So that's neat. Next up is In the Dark 2. This is another puzzle game. It's a sci-fi puzzle game. Apparently, it's like in-depth story. It's a story, and then like throughout the story, you're doing puzzles. I don't really know much more about that, but cool thing about it, it has a glow-in-the-dark cartridge.
That's fun.
And then Dragon M, the one I've been playing, JRPG, probably the longest game in this little bundle. Apparently, it's about 10 to 12 hours long, so I'm having a good time with it so far. But yeah, the Chromatic, I have 6 games. I think there's 10 games total available right now. They are a little pricey. If you want to buy them, I think Dragon M's like $45. So they are like, quote unquote full price games. You're not gonna get them because it's a box, it's a manual, it's a charm, it has a cartridge. They're selling them for a premium. But I'm enjoying them. I'm glad I got it. I would joke about having a full Chromatic set, like buying all the games as they came out. But I'm already 4 behind, and just doing some simple math, that's another $175 I need to spend.
Man.
And I'm like, I don't think I need to do that.
But they are really fucking cool, honestly. So
they're cool, and it makes me feel like I'm collecting Game Boy games, which I'm not really, but it's more cardboard for the shelf, and it looks good on the shelf.
Oh, so. I think they're awesome. I fully support this kind of thing, and it's like, you're getting, it's not like you're getting just a loose cartridge or something. They're giving you like a full premium, like kind of like new retro experience in a way. It's a really cool thing that they're doing. I like it a lot. So
yeah, and as the way the game industry is going, of like less and less coming in the box and more things becoming digital, I hope more and more boutique, like weird little companies keep doing shit like this.
It's always the indies too. It's always indie companies.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff.
So yeah, yep. So excited to keep playing those. I'm gonna try to do like a review of these 6 games once I actually play all 6 of them. I think it'll be basically beat Dragon M, and then the rest of them will be relatively short after that.
Nice.
So
fun stuff. Tyler, do you want to go last? You said you had something exciting to show, so should we save the best for last?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my 2 games I got like a couple of hours ago when I went to GameStop and didn't find Pokemon cards. I was like, do you guys have any retro games behind the counter? And they're like, what are you looking for? And I was like, literally anything. And they're like, okay, cool. So they opened up all the drawers and let me look through everything, which was very nice of them. And I got 2 games for pretty good prices. So got Gran Turismo 4 for $7. First party Sony title, so kind of cool just to have that. And I think it's more like a $10 to $15 game, so pretty good price in that. And then I got God of War 2. This is also $7, and I think this is like a $15 game too. So good prices on some nice first party Sony games. And I always want to get more into like the older God of War games. I've always wanted to actually play through like the original God of War trilogy, because I've only finished God of War 2018. And what I have played of the older God of Wars has been a lot of fun. So I don't know if I'll play the PS2 versions. I think I'll play the Vita versions just because I love an excuse to pick up the Vita. But I was excited to get those because that was a nice, fun surprise. You don't often see PS2 games at GameStop, and when you do, it's not usually pretty good ones. So
the first God of War I played was God of War 3. I got it from a red box, and within an hour of playing that game on my living room TV with my mother in the room, there were breasts on the screen. So that was cool.
Man.
The original God of War games are fun.
Shout out to Kratos smashing that circle button.
Shout out to bare
Yes.
breasts on the living room TV.
Yeah, it was like some like Gorgons or some shit, I forget.
Mom, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're doing in your room all day, son. You're like, yep.
Yeah.
No, this is what I do in the living room.
Gooning to PS3 games.
Yeah.
Tyler, what have you picked up
Man.
recently?
All right, so I got, as I mentioned before, from one game I was playing, Poppy Playtime Triple Pack on
Woo.
the PS5. Seems like kind of hard to find. I don't know, low print, something like that. That was interesting. One PS5 game that is kind of hard to find, that I found for a decent price yesterday, because I had to go to a game store to exchange something. Uh, Dirt 5.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's one that you probably wouldn't think, but it goes for like 60 to 80 bucks, and I got it
wow.
for $25.
Nice. I was gonna
So,
say I think that was a PS Plus game at some point
yeah, I think it was.
because I
But
feel like I owned that digitally and I wouldn't have bought it.
now this one I picked up. I'm excited about this one. So it's a game from a system that I had no games for yet, but now I do. And that is a complete in-box copy of Sonic Pocket Adventure.
That's so cool.
Complete. Got the manual, got the card, all that.
I'm so jealous. I love
Man,
that
That's
game.
cool.
How much
I was
was it?
like, uh,
If you don't mind me asking.
130.
That's a great price for that game.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was once, and I was like, one. Yeah, it came a
That
little
is a
protect
great
on it.
price. I would have got it for 132.
When I seen it, I was
I
just
would have got
like,
it for 131.
Shut the fuck up.
but yeah, I was when I got that, I was like, oh, I want to show him right away, but I was like, no, I'm just waiting for the pod. We're recording tomorrow. I'll show him tomorrow.
That's very exciting. I'm going
Yeah.
to kill you in your sleep and steal that. I'm gonna fly to Pennsylvania because that is
Come
really
get it.
cool. I love that game. I think that was the first Neo Geo Pocket Color game that I beat or got close to beating because it's really fucking hard towards the end. It's kind of like a demake of Sonic 2, which is really cool. And it's weird because it's kind of funny because it was almost like the final like classic style 2D Sonic in a way. And it's interesting because it's like his little sprite has green eyes like they started doing for Sonic Adventure. It was like an interesting little transitionary game. Definitely
Nice.
recommend it if you're a fan of Sonic games because most people I don't think have played this one and it's pretty great.
I love the Eggman pose.
It's awesome.
So his like Sonic Adventure pose, like the
It's a really good game. It's a very very underrated Sonic game. So definitely recommend it to honestly anybody that likes 2D Sonic because it's a surprisingly good one. God, the Neo
Yeah,
Geo
decent
Pocket
manual,
Color is just
too.
so cool. We should just do a whole episode about the Neo Geo Pocket Color where I
I
educate
don't
you
know
fools on how
shit.
cool
Like,
that console is. I think it'd be so
I was
fun.
about to say I don't know shit about it. So.
Dude, it's so fun. At one point, I was like 5 games away from having a loose set of Neo Geo
How many
Pocket
games
Color.
are on it?
Huh?
6.
How many games are on it?
I think it's less than 40. It's very small. So, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like any of the games complete in box are either expensive or very hard to find. Some of them go, you might see a sale for some of them like every 2 or 3 years. It's very hard to find a lot of these games, but lots of good stuff.
What?
And now a lot of the games are easily accessible because they've released 2 collections on Switch. So
What's the most expensive game on it?
complete in box I couldn't tell you, but loose I think it's called Falsili. I believe it's a JRPG. That was one of the ones I never ended up getting. It only ever released as a cartridge, like in like 4-game multi blister packs. It's something super weird like that. And there's like I think
Odd.
like 2 or 3 collectors that have like prototype boxes, so they are like the only people that have it complete in box because otherwise you can't find it. But
Interesting.
really cool stuff. Yeah, it's interesting because it was obviously a handheld, but it had a lot of fighting games on it since it's SNK. So lots of really cool stuff on there. Definitely recommend it. Did I say SNK on accident?
You did.
More like SNK.
A Freudian
yeah.
slip, as it were. Yeah, I know nothing
The
about the Neo Geo, so that'd be...
LGBTQ plus loves the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Didn't you know?
I would love to be educated on the Neo Geo Pocket Color because I know nothing about it. So
That'd be a lot of fun. We should do something on it. It's one of my favorite little handhelds, and it has a little clicky stick I've told you guys about, where the whole thing is like tactile.
Love me a clicky
It's
stick.
awesome, dude. It's the clickiest stick of all time.
How much do those go for about?
A loose console, I think, like 100 to 150, depending on the model.
Not
You
bad.
don't see them very often, so it's not a common console at all.
I don't have to look
But
for one.
it's so good. Mine is We modded mine so that it has a nice backlit like screen, so it looks really nice. And then when I sold all of my cartridges for it, I just got an EverDrive for it, so I have everything loaded up on there. But like I said, now most of those games are available on Switch through the collections they've released. So there are ways to play it, which is nice because it's a very underrated library of cool and interesting games. So shout out to the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and shout out to Sonic Pocket Adventure. I wish that it was in my collection. I'm going to kill you and take it for my own.
Just keep it right here all episode. Just
Rub it in.
Look,
All right.
you're right there. You're technically on it. You
Yes.
have it.
So yeah, the Pocket Color, pretty damn cool. But what's even cooler is history lessons from our boy Tyler. Tyler's history lesson. Tyler,
Woo!
what the fuck happened in video games this week? Many moons ago.
Are you drinking a glass of milk?
I just had cookies, yeah.
What are
Okay,
you,
but-
fucking 5?
Well, sorry, I needed a snack for all these
nice,
intermissions.
nice mid-podcast drink of warm glass of milk to make me feel good.
Yeah, maybe
Hope
I
you
love
fall
milk.
asleep.
it make Discord go away. Discord baddies go away.
I love milk, so I'm sorry.
Me too.
It's okay.
It was just a funny thing to
I love
say.
milk so much that I. Oh wait, no, I didn't do that. Never mind. I love chocolate milk so much that I DoorDash chocolate syrup to Zach's house.
You did do that.
True story.
Beautiful.
But history. So, all right. So from this past week and the prior week, starting on January 7th, 2003, is when Nintendo unveiled the Game Boy Advance SP handheld. In the U.S., features a flip-up illuminated screen, built-in rechargeable battery, and complete compatibility with the Game Boy Advance. You know how much this thing retailed for?
$149.99.
$100.
Damn.
Wow.
Like, dang. You got 101s that go for more than that now.
For real.
Moving along, we got January 9th, 2003. Capcom released Resident Evil 2 for the GameCube in the U.S., as well as Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the GameCube in the U.S.
Oh, they came out the same day? That's interesting.
Yeah, but not 4. January 10th, 2005, Nintendo released Legend of Zelda Minish Cap for the Game Boy Advance. That's one I definitely want to play sometime.
Released on
2000
January 10th? So
Yeah,
very
January 10th
early.
in the U.S.
Yeah.
And 2006, Capcom released Mega Man X Collection for the PS2 and the GameCube in the U.S. We'll play those sometime as well. Now, fast forward, January 11th,
Never forget.
2005, not 3, 5, is when Capcom released Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube in the U.S.
Ooh.
exclusive to the GameCube. Only on GameCube.
Yeah, it never came out at anything else.
Nope, never got ported, no remakes, no nothing. January 15th, 2001, Nintendo released Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color in the
Oh.
U.S.
Look at that.
January 17th, 2006, Sony released Ape Escape 3 for the PS2.
Amazing game.
And January 18th, 2011, put this one in here for like a little shout out to the series, which is no longer like alive. 2011, Sony released Little Big Planet 2 for the PS3.
Womp womp.
A lot of good times with Little Big Planet, but now they're all
But
dead.
now Sackboy's fucking dead.
Yeah, Sackboy died.
We're in an Astrobot future now.
You will only ever get Astrobot dressed as Sackboy ever again.
Wearing his skin.
Yeah, I like to think that that's the real Sackboy that he just murdered and crawled
Yeah.
inside of.
Sackboy in the future. And yeah, a little light history, but at least we had some history unlike last week.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that's all, man.
To be fair, those are some pretty big releases for early January. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah,
that they
Resident
just-
Evil, a Zelda game.
Very interesting. Very strange. But, wow, no ET fun fact? You're over that?
I don't know. We're not done with the episode yet.
The tradition is dead. I was just expecting something, that's all.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, well, it's about time for that topic of the show, the Golden Axe Trilogy on Sega Genesis. Um, like my father said, that game blows. I don't know if I agree with it blows, but I don't know if I exactly love these games either. Why don't you give us overall impressions, Zach, of the series? How did you feel about them?
So in general, I'll just caveat this with I think that beat 'em ups in general are probably one of my least favorite genres of video games, period. Um, and then add on to that, uh, playing beat 'em ups by myself is even worse. Like if you're playing like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with friends or something, I can have a good time. I've never seemed to have a good time with beat 'em ups when I'm playing by myself. I'm not very good at them. I think they're frustrating. I think they're really cheap at times. I think a lot of that frustration bled through with Golden Axe. Um, I think I don't know. I got really frustrated on like the boss of Golden Axe One specifically. Was
Like it's
I
cheap.
was I hated that thing so much. I just was so mad. I felt like no matter what I did, he just attacked. He had longer range than me, and I felt like I was getting punished for no reason. I was out. There's too many enemies on the screen. I couldn't do anything. So I don't know. It was just what I've always experienced with beat 'em ups. I just think they're frustrating. I'm not very good at them, and I feel like they just piss me off more than I have fun with them. But
Now, did you beat all three games? You said you saw credits, so what does that mean? What did you do?
so I played Golden Axe 1 and 2 on the Genesis NSO app using rewind as needed when I would die because I wasn't going to replay everything. I would just rewind. And then 3, I watched a long play on double speed because I was angry at Golden Axe 1. So
That's fair.
And Craig died again. All right.
Oh, those are your overall thoughts. Anything else you want to add?
yeah, I mean like I personally didn't like look into like the lore or the story super in depth that there's more I was missing there. To me, it felt like having experienced these 30 years after it came out, it felt like generic beat 'em ups with like a generic fantasy setting. And I think it was cool. I got to play as like basically He-Man. That was neat, I guess. But I wasn't my favorite game we've played for the show.
Tyler?
Oh, dang it. Hold on. It just went out of stock. Sorry, I was trying to get a Prismatic Evolution ZTV.
Oh my god.
Uh,
We're doing a show.
dude, I know, but it went up on Target, and you had to be quick.
Motherfucker, focus.
Listen, I'll focus once your camera focuses, all right?
It is focused. Don't jinx it.
You think it's focused on your end. But anyway, I'm going to piggyback off of what Zach said, because he said he doesn't know much about the story.
The
Well, let me
lore.
fill you in a little bit about the lore.
Tell him about your boy Death Adder.
If I go off of Target.com and I go back to my notes. Well, for any of y'all that don't know, Zach kind of explained it, but Golden Axe, side-scrolling beat-'em-up series developed by Sega. It's like a medieval fantasy setting. And throughout the games, you're pretty much going to get the Golden Axe. Which also, the main director of the game, he's also the one that made Altered Beast. So he went from Altered Beast to this one.
This all makes sense now.
Well, this game is a lot better than Altered Beast. But the games are actually inspired by the Conan movies originally. And Golden Axe, instead of a beat 'em up, it was actually originally going to be an RPG series, kind of like Dragon Quest. But they kind of ditched that whole effort because they wanted to make a game that's kind of like an arcade style game on Genesis. So they went with that.
Yeah.
So in the first Golden Axe, so you pretty much have the motive to defeat Death Adder, the main villain in the game. Your main, wow.
Objective? Party?
Goal?
Yeah, kind of. Your main reason that you want to go after them, the 3 characters specifically. So, Gilius, the elf dude.
The goat?
Yeah, the best guy. Well, he's not really the best if you're playing as him, but he's the best guy. The reason he wants to go after Death Adder is because Death Adder actually killed his twin brother. And then the reason Axe Battler wants to go after him is because he killed his mother. And then the reason that Tyrus, the girl, wants to go after him is because her parents got killed by him. So they're all pretty much going to get revenge on him.
I would love if her name
Oh.
was actually Tyrus the
Here's
girl.
the girl.
That
I was
was
just thinking
Tyrus,
that too.
the girl. But yeah. So, I mean, it goes a little more in depth, but essentially, that's the main thing. Kind of all trying to get revenge. That's the word I was looking for, revenge. But yeah. I mean, going back what you said, being cheap. Golden Axe 1, well, I mean, they all can definitely be cheap, but like later on when in the other games, well, 3 I know you get it. I'm not sure about 2, but you get like block, you can block attacks. It doesn't work that well. But going back to these games, like, they're a little rough. I mean, they're fun little beat 'em ups, but they do got their kinks, especially when you're getting like ganged up on by 3 different enemies, especially the skeletons, because them skeletons will f you up. Like mm. And how he said on the main boss, the Death Adder fight, he just constantly has all these magic attacks he could do. Have like a dragon come down, constantly hit you. There's times where you'll get hit, knocked down before you even get up. He uses another magic attack, and then you get hurt again.
Yep.
And yeah, those parts, it's not that fun. But it could be a struggle. But that's where level select comes into play on the modern releases. And hey, there you go. You could beat Golden Axe. But
Yeah, so I beat 1, 2, and 3. First one I beat on Nintendo Switch Genesis Online, and then the other two I played through um, the Genesis compilation on PS4. As far as I know, that's the only way you can play Golden Axe 3 on modern hardware is on there. That game was never released physically on Genesis North America. It was Sega Channel exclusive I saw when I was looking it up, which is kind of interesting. So kind of cool. But yeah, I was
one right came out on the Wii Shop channel.
yes. Not to break Tyler's heart, I wasn't a huge fan of these either. They were I liked them aesthetically and I liked the music. I thought that they were kind of fun, and not even the third one's ugly as shit actually. The first 2 games I think looked really good though.
Yeah, the third one a
think
lot of
so?
people hate on.
I thought the
I
third
was
one
gonna say,
looked
I
really
thought
ugly.
the third one looked different. I thought it had like a. I thought it looked. I don't know if it looked better. It looked different. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
I felt like it actually all looked more detailed and had like an actual like art style for the first 2, and the third one, I don't know, something about it just looked like blurry, I guess is the best way to put it. So I wasn't a big fan of the third one. The third one also had the worst music. It had the worst controls. It had the most annoying spongy enemies. Like if you thought they were spongy in the first 2 games, the third one was fucking ridiculous.
Especially on that last level with all the knights, man.
Yeah, and it's like a fucking 15-minute level. It's so stupid. But yeah, the first game was okay. The second one I at least enjoyed a little bit. I thought it was kind of
I
fun.
did enjoy
And
the
then-
second one. I'll say
and then
that.
the
The
third
second one I
one-
had fun with.
The third one I absolutely hated. I fucking hated Golden Axe 3. I thought it was so bad. I really, really didn't like it. But I'm kind of glad I played these because I have, it's minimal, but I do have some nostalgia for Golden Axe since I played a little bit of it on the Dreamcast compilation when I was a child. At least I think that's what I was on. I can't totally remember. So I did play a little bit of it when I was younger, and I haven't played a lot of beat 'em ups, and this is one of the more legendary, iconic beat 'em up series. So I'm glad to at least now be able to say that I've played them, even if I didn't love them. So, Tyler, I'm curious to know what you love so much about these games because we did this episode for you.
It's honestly just nostalgia. Playing it like before with my
valid.
dad and stuff, and I always, had a fun. I mainly always as a kid played 1, and like I beat 1 in like an arcade and stuff,
Oh,
and
that's
that
cool.
was fun.
Is
So
the
this was
arcade
like
version noticeably different than the Genesis version?
not as different.
Mm-hmm.
Just if I remember right, what's his name? Gilius, yeah, it's his actual name. His axe is actually like golden compared to like the metal kind of thing, so
Oh,
it
okay.
actually say golden axe.
That's
But
cool.
I don't know why the Genesis kind of like just took that aspect away, so it was kind of like different. But did you also know that Golden Axe 3, the man and the woman, those are actually different characters? Those
Yeah, it's
aren't
weird.
the ones from 1. The
Mm-hmm.
only returning character from 1 is Gilius, but then you can't even play as him.
Yeah, and then
me.
it's like two or three other characters that you could choose as well, right?
Yeah, you got I got their names. You got well, all of them are
Conan the Man.
no, not Conan.
There's the
Where's
Panther
that?
guy, I remember, and then there's like a beefy caveman dude.
Oh yeah, there it is. So you got the swordsman Kane Grinder, you got the swordswoman Sarah Barn, you got the giant Barode Cragger, and the beastman Kronos Slate. That's who you got.
Yeah, and Golden Axe 3 was interesting since it had branching paths, so you could there's different levels you could do depending on what you chose. Definitely didn't enjoy the game to do more than one path. And I
The
also
best are really only like if you take the top ones all the times, you're not gonna like save anybody per se. So like the way this game goes for Golden Axe 3, for y'all that don't know, you can get like a good ending and a bad ending. Well, not necessarily a bad ending, it's just kind of like a normal ending. And then you get like the best ending. Normal ending, you just beat the dude. Best ending, you get the golden axe and everything. Yeah, you know. But so during your pass that you do, you can pretty much the other characters that you're not playing as, or I think you can be playing as them too. They're like under a mind control, spirit control thing. You beat them, you free them, stuff like that. Uh, and then pretty much you get 4 continues in the game. By the time you get to the last boss, it depends on if you're gonna get the best ending by if you didn't save anybody, you need to have all 4 of your credits. If you saved one person, that negates like 1 credit, so you could have 3 left per se to beat the first phase of the final boss, which then you get to a whole another phase, which then you actually beat the game, get credits, all that stuff.
and I'm convinced this is fucking impossible because Golden
Yeah,
Axe
it's
3
hard as shit.
especially is so cheap. Like the enemies know, like they're programmed to like react to your moves in a way where it's like certain enemies you just can't hit like with certain moves. Like they'll know how to block you or they'll counteract in a way that you can't hit them. The game is like unfairly hard in my opinion. And I honestly couldn't have beaten these games without good old level select or save states. I definitely did that for all 3 of these games because when I got to the very end, I was like, I'm not doing all this shit again. We're not doing this. So I
I
definitely
feel like
use the save states and level select because I didn't have the patience to play through them again just to lose again.
I feel like I was losing my mind in Golden Axe 1 on the final boss. Something similar where like I would do something and I would get punished. I'm like, man, screw that. I'm gonna rewind a second. And I do something else and I get punished a different way. I'm like, okay, I'll try something else. And like I would sit there and rewind like 8 times, and no matter what I did, one of the people would hit me or like I would like miss the attack. I just couldn't. They always knew what I was doing. And I'll just say that I am not good at these games. Straight up, I'm not good at beat 'em ups. I feel like I was probably making wrong decisions, but I feel like no matter what I was doing, I was getting just clocked. It was
I will
Yeah,
not.
say
that's just the way the
the
game is, man.
the cheat code to these games is to just do the sprinting kick and that be the only thing you do for 90% of the game.
Yep.
Because if
Yeah.
you have 2 enemies on the screen, just have one on each side, kick, kick,
Kick.
kick, kick.
And the
That's how I
AI,
got through like 90% of all 3 of these games.
and if you get somewhere to where like there's a cliff or something, the AI are so like dumb in this game
They'll
that
just
like
fall off.
yeah, so if there's a cliff, they'll pretty much try to like walk the fastest way they can to you, no matter what if there's a floor or not. So
Mm.
like if you have something where like I don't know, you can walk this way, right here's the hole, you over here, the enemy's here, they'll just go whoop and fall into it, and they'll just
Which is
automatically die. Like
very nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, enemies falling into holes and then dashing and kicking them. That's basically the only way to beat this game, from what I can tell. Because it's like I swear, I would be out of line of the enemy and I would try to attack and I wouldn't hit, but then they would attack and they would hit me. I swear, there's something fucked up with the hitboxes in these games too. It feels like everything's working against you and they're so unforgiving.
yeah, it can be rough at times.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler.
But
Thanks for making us
hey,
play these fucking.
I'm glad y'all played them.
No,
And I
I'm
don't
glad I
care
I'm
did
if you
not.
too.
liked them or you didn't like them.
I'm always wanting to play more Genesis stuff, so I'm glad that I played these. And like I said, one of the more iconic beat 'em up series. Maybe makes me want to play the Streets of Rage games to see if those are like way better or not, because people love Streets of Rage as well.
Yeah. Streets of Rage is probably better. But Golden Axe is mainly like a nostalgia thing for me, so it still has like a special place in my heart, you know.
No, that's
But
totally valid. I ain't going to take that away from you. I like I said, aesthetically, the first two games and the music I thought were really cool, so I still did enjoy that. But yes, they're tough as nails, man. But it kind of makes sense too if they're because I think all three of them were arcade games first, and then they brought them to console, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So
When the next
they're
Golden
meant
Axe
to.
comes out. Oh,
What'd you
sorry.
say?
I was thinking when the next Golden Axe comes out, like when they make the new one,
Oh yeah,
we should all buy it and play it together.
that'd be fun.
That'd be cool. I'd be down.
That was one thing we
Whenever
didn't
I
do.
actually get
We
it.
wanted to. We all said we were going to try to play these games together, and we failed miserably at that because we didn't even
Yeah.
try. So
And then they both said they played it without me. Well, I mean, minus Zach. I did ask Zach we were gonna play it together, but then yeah, it just fell through.
I was
And,
busy last night. Yeah.
yeah, you're busy. So then I live streamed it on my channel with Jason.
yes, and that was a fun
And we,
watch too. I
and
hopped
we
into
were
that for
both
a
just
while.
like, this is freaking brutal.
Does the game scale up when there's two people? Like, do the enemies have more health, or how does that work? Any
I'm not
idea?
sure, to be honest. But did it seem like more enemies or anything at all than your playthrough? Or
I don't think so. I couldn't tell.
I don't think it does. I think it's still kind of the same.
But yeah, the final bosses in these games are in the second game. Actually, the final boss was the easiest out of the. That's not true. The boss in the third game was very easy.
The
Second one was
easiest out of
pretty easy.
Craig
The first,
dying again. Death Adder just came in. He killed Craig. I'm gonna keep talking because maybe he will fix, so we don't have to do another cut. But, however, one thing that really confused me in Golden Axe is, well, like in this franchise, like I don't know what they're thinking or whatever. So, like in Golden Axe 1, you got the thieves that came, you know, little green one with the food, the blue one with the magic, and that's how you get your magic up and your health up. And then in 2, they like totally changed it, and these were like some random dudes that you hit and you got your magic from and stuff.
Little
But then
wizard people.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they weren't even like little magic like potions or whatever. They were actually just like spirit books.
There are books. Yeah.
And then 3, they brought back the old way, which I liked because I like the little thieves. I don't know, just nostalgic, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was one that kind of was like, it's a weird change. But
Yeah, and it was weird. Like, so basically, between each level, you're not guaranteed to get all your magic or health back. You just have to like beat the shit out of these little people raiding your camp every night. I guess is that like
yeah,
so that
pretty
was
much.
neat. I guess. I I couldn't tell like were the enemies like could you just miss out on all of them or do they just run around until you hit them? Because I feel like
They'll eventually like run away.
okay,
Yeah, like if you wait long enough, then they'll just be like, whoop, psh, and then it'll be like, ding, 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 for it to go or whatever. Same with
Yeah.
the campfire; they'll just run away, and then you'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah.
2 is definitely.
Two. I felt like I felt the least bullshit on. There was still some bullshit just because it's a beat 'em up. I feel like they all do this, but I feel like on 2, if I were to like play 2 a couple times, I could probably play through that game and eventually get good enough to beat it like without any save states or anything. But 1, dude, I don't know what in the world I would have to do to learn how to beat Golden Axe 1 without
Just
using
luck, man.
rewind.
Just luck. You got to
Crazy.
make sure you get in the right position. Don't get hit. I mean, once you learn, like, there's a cool speedrun out there. Like the person beat it in like 7 minutes with Tyrus. Like with her, if you jump and do your attack at the same time, she does like a down stab move, and that's like really effective against everybody. So like the first boss that you come into when it's 2 of them, like
Yep.
she just group them up and then do the down stab. It hits both of them, and she just whoop 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 and like beats it like real quick. Like the strategies are kind of cool, but
I should watch the speed run because I bet it is. I mean, 7 minutes is crazy. This doesn't make any sense.
Am I
Craig,
back?
I think
You
you're good.
guys? Okay.
Yeah, I think you look good.
I made a note, so I'll have to just put it over the audio, and I'll mention it to you guys. If I'm quiet for a while, it's because I'm having issues and they can't hear me. And we've had to stop 1,000 times tonight, so if I cut out again, they're just going to continue without me. So we can at least at some point finish the show.
It's only currently 2:13 a.m. It's all
Yeah, that's fine. So what I was going to say is fuck Golden Axe. No, I thought that it's funny because 3 was definitely the hardest game, but then it had the easiest final boss. 2, the boss is relatively easy, compared to the rest of the game. And then the first game, the final boss is like disgustingly hard, like so fucking hard. And I just thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, 3 was definitely the hardest out of them, and it just felt unfair. So that's why that was my least favorite one. If I were to
It's funny
rank them,
because
it definitely goes 3, 1, 2, and it's probably that way for both of you guys if I had to assume as well, right?
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, the speed run, the long play I watched the 3. It looked fine, but
The old long
no.
play.
I definitely enjoyed 2 more than 1. I was rage messaging Tyler last night. Was it last night? I was
Yeah,
finishing Golden Axe 1,
yeah,
and I was having a relatively okay time. And I got to that last section, I feel like the game was trying to make me angry. I think I spent more time trying to beat the last boss than I did the entire rest of the game. Like it was
That's
just,
so funny.
hey, how about those dinosaurs though? Get on those dinosaurs and just beating the
yeah.
shit out of
Shooting
everybody with their
fireballs and stuff.
shooting
But
fireballs, whipping their tails. That was
but it was
fun.
so
That'd be
hard
cool.
to keep them. I felt like I was getting knocked off every 3 seconds.
Yeah, you get hit once, they
Yeah,
either take it or they just run away. I'm like, wait.
I
yeah, but
will
those were
say,
those were pretty overpowered.
especially in the first game, one of my favorite things about these games, I thought that the magic spell effects were really cool. Like especially with the girl, like summoning the dragon when you had full magic and stuff. That looked sick as hell. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the magic attacks are really cool. The one that like was weird to me is in 3. Who'd you play as in 3?
I played as the girl in all of them, so
Okay. So the Panther dude, he got some weird like abilities. Like one just looks like some black and white snow on a CRT. It's like just crushing the screen. And then oh no. The level 1 it's just going like to the side. And then level 2 it's like coming down just crushing it. And then level 3 it's like crushing it, but then you got lightning going on in the background. But it makes like a really loud noise like holy.
how funny.
But yeah, the girl probably has some of the coolest ones with the dragon and all that stuff.
Except in the third one, again, it just looks like shit. Like the quality really dropped. It's almost like because I looked it up and they're all still developed internally by Sega, but it's just weird how the third one is like
Yeah.
the lowest quality out of the
3
three
was
of
kind
them
of just
by
like a
far.
rushed sequel because there was another game that came out between 2 and 3.
Yeah, Golden Axe 2.5.
No,
Was that the Death Adder or Revenge of Death Adder or whatever?
I believe so.
Because
Yeah,
I saw that there was, I was looking up, there was an arcade only one called Revenge of Death Adder, and apparently that's like by far and away the best Golden Axe game. And I'm like, of course that's the one that they didn't port to anything because it's supposed to be amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone says it's really good, so I want to check it. I want to check that out because I'm sure you could emulate that somehow, some way nowadays. I bet that'd be cool to see.
yeah. And then you got the one on the Game Gear, the one on the Saturn.
Yeah, well, the Saturn one's a fighting game.
Yeah, and then you got the one on the PS3 that nobody talks about
Oh yeah, I've heard
for
that's pretty
obvious
bad.
reasons. Yeah, that one's just like a background story of like Tyrus,
Everybody's favorite
Tyrus the
character.
girl, Tyrus the girl. Yeah.
I will say I appreciate that everybody's equally sexualized and jacked in these games, including the elf. He's also ripped. I thought that was a
That's
lot
bad.
of fun.
He's ripped in my figure, dude.
Dude,
Like
he's
just
jacked.
the outside box, his biceps bigger than Hulk Hogan's.
He's swole, man.
He's just like, yeah. I'm gonna cosplay as him.
That'd be really
I think it would
funny.
There
work.
you go.
You should totally do that. That'd be awesome.
And this is
And
where
then
Craig
I
dies
could be
again.
Tyrus, and Zach can be X Battler.
I feel like
Hey,
we can do
perfect.
it. I feel like we could pull it off.
Actually, Zach, you might make a better Tyrus than me. So
I'll wear whatever you want me to wear, Craig. I can't really hear what you're saying right now, but I'll wear whatever you want me to wear.
He
Dang
said he
it.
wants to see you in that polka dot bikini, girl.
Okay, he
No.
wants to see me in the polka dot bikini. Yellow
No,
polka
he
dot.
said you as Tyrus. That's what he said.
Tyrus the girl. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Can I be Tyrus the boy, but still dress the same?
if you want.
Okay, I'll do that then.
The next time we're all together at a convention, so we got to do. We'd be the Golden Axe crew.
Heck
But
yeah.
if Christian's with, we got to have Christian dress up as like Death Adder.
No, Christian can be one of the dinosaurs, and we can like ride him like a little animal.
He could either be like he'd be one of the like dragon ones, or he could be like the pink purple one. That one
Yeah,
actually comes. That one comes with the Gilius figure. Each of them like come with a certain one, which is pretty neat. Craig's saying hell yeah as a robot. He's like, yeah. I wonder how much the
Yeah.
Game Gear game goes for. I kind of want to get the Game Gear. Although it's probably not good. But
I can imagine playing Golden Axe on a Game Gear would be quite the task. I don't think I'd ever
I don't,
finished it.
I don't even know what the Game Gear one plays as. It's probably just also a beat 'em up, but like Craig mentioned, the Saturn one's a fighting game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When do you think? So Sega's making a new one. When is that supposed to come out?
Man, I don't know, because they showed these off at what, Game Awards 2023? And we still
Yeah, they're
don't know it. The one we know most about is Crazy Taxi because of leaks, but like,
they're reviving a bunch of like old franchises. And do you think it's still gonna be just a beat 'em up?
probably. Maybe just a more modernized one or something like that.
Like a Streets of Rage 4 situation?
Yeah.
It's like a solid. But
But hey, I mean, it still could be good. So it'll be cool.
yeah.
Let's see. What are they doing? They're doing that. Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. There's one other.
Shit.
I don't remember the other. But yeah, Crazy Taxi should be cool. Golden Axe would be cool. Definitely gonna buy that. Jet Set Radio
Yeah.
will be cool.
Yeah, I want Sega to keep churning out games. They've been on a heater lately. Looks like they're doing Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Golden
Shinobi.
Axe.
That's the one.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Let's just do Samba de Amigo. Let's get another Samba de Amigo game.
Samadin. Yeah. Well, while Craig goes and fixes his stuff, we got some audience write-ins. I'll go ahead and read Jason's.
Oh, thank God.
Don't worry, Zach. I'll save you this time. You can read John's.
Good.
All right. So, longtime viewer Jason wrote in every single episode so far. Props to you, man.
Shout out to
I
Jason.
appreciate it. Look at that. Even Zach said shout out to you. That's special.
I'm only just thank you for writing in, but outside of that, not shout out.
Dude, I'm still trying to get you two in a party chat together. Like every time I'm on a party with them, I'm like, oh, let me see if Zach's on, and then you're not on, and I'm like, shit.
I'm sure Jason's a nice fella.
Yeah.
He's
One
got
day,
bad taste in
that'll
games
happen.
sometimes.
When he found out that we were all playing Marvel Rivals, he told Jonathan, he was like, I would have joined. Jonathan was like, you're asleep. And he's like, wake me up.
That's funny.
Yeah. But anyway, moving along. Jason says, hello there, fellow warriors, and Zach. Craig Stormbreaker, Tyler Fireclaw, and Zach Songbird, because all warriors need a friendly bard to sing of tales of mighty warriors' adventures. I never had the
Get down
chance
with
to
that.
play Golden Axe in the arcade, as none of the arcades around my area had any. I did get to play them on the Sega Genesis. Growing up, I was a Nintendo kid, but my friend Eugene had all the Sega systems, which is where I got to play them originally. Shout out to Eugene. Now I lost where I was. For Golden Axe, although short, still a fun beat 'em up game. Golden Axe 2 was more fun, beat 'em up action, but now with better graphics and twice as long gameplay. Now for Golden Axe 3, as bigger with even better graphics, more characters to play as not necessarily makes a better game. I feel the levels are too long and feels a bit unfair more than the other games in the series because of the new blocking mechanic introduced in this game. Now, as fun as the series is, the games do have some issues. Which, Jason, I do agree with everything you're saying because we played them together, and that was
Did he write this after he played with you last night?
yeah.
Okay.
I think he wrote it like probably today or like late yesterday.
I feel like the AI.
Oh yeah, I feel like the AI can be a little cheap and unfair. The movement can be a bit stiff, and also feel the hitboxes are huge for the player characters, where it seems like I'll get hit sometimes without the enemy being next to me. But I could be right next to an enemy, and it just looks like I'm swinging at air. All in all, even with those flaws, still fun to play, especially with a friend. Let's hope the new Golden Axe game that was announced in 2023 will be a great new entry in the series. Well, now, fellow warriors, I'm off to retrieve the legendary Golden Axe by playing the far better remake on the Sega Classic Collection, and going to save the planet on another remake that no fearsome warrior should ever play. And now, guys, it is just me on this podcast.
Yeah. All right. I'll get John. John says, "Hey guys, John here again. And my thoughts on the Golden Axe. I think they are okay. I prefer Streets of Rage a little more."
I put his
Thanks, John.
comment second because I thought it was really funny. We had one super long write-in and one very short write-in. One of them's just giving his in-depth review, and he's like, "Yeah, they're all right."
I gotta say, shout out to Jason for doing that right in. Yeah, I like the little story he threw into it.
Hell yeah.
Made it all really medieval
Man, this is going to be a great episode for people that don't like me, because I feel like I'm not in half this episode with all these connection issues.
Yeah, I have enjoyed it actually. So
You're like, you know what actually is better without you?
Guys, we're hiring a new co-host if y'all want to play your applications.
Joke's on you, still going to fucking upload to my channel, so.
It'll still be on Craig's Game Room.
every couple of weeks, someone uploads like, "God, they get uploaded to my channel again."
So yeah, Golden Axe, overall, mid to bad, I would say.
Mid to bad.
Mid to bad, yeah.
Tyler?
They're not the greatest. I'd say they're definitely not the greatest beat 'em up out there. You could definitely play a much better beat 'em up. You got Turtles, Streets of Rage, stuff like that. But I'd still say I'd still say they're worth a play, and especially if you have a friend to play them with, they're probably better with a friend. Because if you're playing it by yourself, you might end up like Zach and want to throw your controller through a screen. But
as far as I know, though, only beat 'em up where you could play as a jacked lawn gnome, so that's kind of a plus as well.
Yeah, so I mean, shout out to people my height.
Our short king.
Yeah, the short, luscious slut. Yeah. But, Zach, final thoughts on Golden Axe?
I think, at the very least, I can be proud that I checked a box, like a new franchise off my list of things that I need to experience at some point.
You still gotta play Golden Axe 3.
Okay, one day.
Hey, I'll play it with you if you want. I'll sit through that again.
He still hasn't played Clock Tower, so I'm sure Golden Axe 3
You
is
don't know
much
that.
lower on
You
the
don't know
list.
that.
Have you?
No.
He's gonna watch a long play of our Chrono Trigger episode.
I will not. Chrono Trigger is actually on my list of shame. I need to play that game.
It'll happen before we hit the year mark of the show. It will happen.
Yeah.
It's on the list. I think it's going to be episode 26, so.
And this is where Craig dies again.
It'll be episode, let's see, 24, 27, I think. Because 24 would be Pokemon.
Well, no, we're changing it up a little bit. 24 is Pokemon, but then we got the Nintendo hot takes, and then we got Chrono Trigger right after that.
Okay, so 26 then?
I think so.
Is it like the year episode, basically?
Yeah, it's gonna be like our 1 year kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it was on our biggest gaming regrets. Then I'll have two of mine down in a year. Ocarina of Time and Chrono Trigger.
Congratulations.
Yep. Couldn't tell you what the other ones were. Oh, it was Metal Gear Solid.
I need to play that, yeah.
Yeah. Still do that video idea.
It's true. Well, without Craig here, do you think we should just close it out?
Well, he just said y'all might have to do the intro without me. So, Zach, gonna take it away?
Well, Tyler, before we take it away, where can the people find you? Where can the people find you after this?
Oh, I think Craig's alive again, though. But after this, people can find me. So I got 2 Twitter accounts now. Luscious Slut, that one's still kind of in maintenance. But you can follow it if you want.
Luscious Slut in maintenance.
I only got 1 follower.
All girls in the shop.
I only got 1 follower on there. Shout out to you, Christian, Bird Dog Gaming. You're the biggest #1 fan of the Luscious Slut.
Makes it even funnier that me and Zach aren't following you.
Yeah, I know, right? My own co-hosts aren't following me on my Luscious Slut account that Greg named me, by the way. I even got people that call me Luscious Slut now out of nowhere, so that's a fun time. But my main X account, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Tyler Hate, just my name. Little Gengar profile picture. Other than that, Game Collecting Reaper on YouTube. New stuff coming soon. Yeah.
I look forward to seeing the new stuff, Tyler. I'm ready for the year of Tyler. I want to see your YouTube videos. Back, you said you're doing every Thursday, right? I want to see back to every Thursday. Damn it!
That's what we were doing,
What-
right? It was every
I want some
Thursday.
weekly. I want some weekly content back from you.
We'll get it going. Get it going. And since Craig's kind of out of here, you can find Craig at Craig's Game Room on
If you're not already here because you're listening to this,
if you're not find him at Craig's Game Room here on YouTube or you're listening to us, unless you're on Spotify or something or Apple Podcasts or whatever, Craig's Game Room on YouTube. Believe it's Craig's Game Room on Twitter. Craig's Game Room everywhere else.
I believe so.
I hope so. I hope I know my friend. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't know me. He don't follow my Luscious Slut account. But
And then you can find me on my YouTube channel, Daily Beating. Releasing my. If this video is out, that means I've already released my top 10 games of 2024. My better late than never video. I'm getting like more and more late every year when I make these because I want to actually finish the games. So I do it in January. So mid-January, not too late to finish a GOTY list, but yeah.
yeah. And go watch his first ever video. It's like a drone video. It's really good.
Heck yeah.
Recommend
it. You can dox one of my old places of living. But
yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate y'all watching, and hope y'all have a great week, and look forward to talking to y'all in 2 weeks.
Adios.